I had it adjusted, and then and then my phone will cycle off while I'm waiting, which I know there's a way to adjust that, but I haven't. So anyway, good morning or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you guys are. I know I'm a little later than normal this morning, but oy, I, I, I woke up early. I tried to go to bed early, which meant I woke up at 5, which is so early for me. That's like the middle of the night for me. Anyway, so here I am. Today, I really was not sure what I was going to do, and and that's okay because sometimes that happens. But I think what I feel like doing is working on just some ideas. And I don't have my normal pencil case down here; it's upstairs. So I'm just going to use pens that I have, and this is like my secondary stash. It's got things like this is my old drafting pencil from when I was in school. And it has one of those sharpeners that, you know, um, the unusual sharpener because it's just the lead. And then I used to have leads, the blue leads for doing mechanicals for the printer, because the mechanical blue doesn't show up when I'm doing printing. So, and this is I like mechanical pencils, especially ones that are like this. I have like a metal one that I just love. Um, these old drafting pencils, and this one came from that I told you about. The Art Snacks is a art supply subscription where they send you like various, usually like small names, little small boutique brands of stuff, and it's just loads of fun every month to see what they give you. So anyway, so I wanted to work on some ideas for my capsule wardrobe, and I've been wanting to do a pinafore for like forever. I'm going to show you what I mean because I actually sketched one out ages ago. I mean ages. I think this is pre-pandemic for sure. Oop, upside down. And I had gone to, I guess I had here it is. And I still want to make one just like this. Um I've got a rayon dress that that is similarly styled except for it has button placket here and it's lime green and I love it, but I think this would be great in linen. So, or here I have off-white, cream gray, soft woven. Yeah, linen, like a beige or soft gray or something, or maybe even upcycled. I don't know. I've been playing with, because it feels like, especially with the influx of fabrics that are plastic, and I mean like polyesters and microfiber, that I feel like that every time I find bits of cotton, especially like an Indian cotton, like Madras cotton, or a thin batiste cotton, even like cotton sheeting, just feels so precious. And so when I have little bits of it, I want to even save the smallest bits. And I've been looking at how people patch together bits of fabric and then cut out, like make the fabric out of small bits and then cut out your pieces. And that's even uh in the cantha cloth clothing that I had talked about a while back. um I feel like the same thing can be done here. So, and then to make it all marry together, if there's like some inconsistency in the fabrics and the colors, to over dye it to kind of unify everything, either over dye it in one shade that's a little muted so it doesn't, so you can still see the differences come through a little bit, or to do some kind of ice dyeing. So I'm playing with that. Anyway, those are ideas, and these are some other ideas that I sketched out. So yeah, this is 2018, and this was around that same time when I did this. And this apron. This is modeled after what Georgia O'Keeffe was wearing when she would work. Whew. So yeah, pinafores and aprons. So I, I like it as a layer for that log and look kind of thing. And let me see. I know that I had been pasting. Not in this journal. What journal? Oh, it might be in this journal, the one that I'm about to work in. I had pinned some ideas like layering the skirts. I think the same thing with layering dresses with a pinafore. This is almost like that same idea. Oh, I love Natalie Shannon. That's her right there. I love her work. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Anyway, so I think I'm going to kind of move forward with that idea, whether I do it from a solid piece. Oh, look at this. See, I started to play with ideas, making like these paper dolls, clothing for the paper dolls. And what I need to do is like make a shape that's me, because if I'm gonna, when you think of fashion drawings or whatever, I mean, they're always so skinny, and I'm apple shaped, so it would behoove me to make a paper doll in that shape, so I can play with how I um want things to drape on me, because it's going to be really different when drapes are different when you have a big belly. So anyway, so I thought I'd try and sketch out some stuff, and like I did here, I think sketching out over these jelly plate prints sometimes will spark some ideas. So I'm going to do that. And I don't have my big bold brush pen down here. I think it's upstairs as well. So I'm just going to use one of these markers, probably, and these are all kind of fine. That's okay. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go with it. So, and I'm just going to not pay attention to where this is. It's not going to dictate what I sketch out. But again, the shape. Wow, this one's dry. Batting 1,000. All right, let's try another one. Let's try this. I used to love these pens. The V5 Pilot. Pilot makes great pens. Let's see how this is going to work. Oh, yeah, this is good. So I want it to be kind of the neckline. Not necessarily, well, I don't know. The best way to measure the neckline, I think, is to see what I think I would wear it with, and then follow that neckline, or decide what that neckline is going to be based on that. And I do want it to be armholes to come down, but I'm wondering if it needs to come up this way. And I imagine I would wear one of my little cap sleeve tops with it. So if it curves up like this, my neck is not that long. A lot of times I don't even drop the head. And then this would accommodate my belly for sure. But I would want it to be probably fuller. And then definitely gathered at least, or maybe it's gathered in the middle. Let me draw another one. So let's say here's the neckline. And again, I'm going to go with this up here. I mean, what if it's just gathered right here? because I don't necessarily want all of that fabric underneath my armpit, right? And it would look probably like a maternity dress. All right, maybe that's not the way to go. See, I was also thinking that this top part could even have like, what if it had, or what if it was like this? And it came across that way. Let's make this part of the shirt, right? And there was a tie closure there. Then I could do something to the effect of, what if this was some woven fabric, and then this had some kind of design over here, some interesting closure. Now I kind of like that. That would be interesting if it was reversible. What if that could either be the front or the back? And what if maybe, I mean, for that matter, why couldn't this be woven as well, right? And then let's say that this was, I mean, if I decide to go with the gathers here or the gathers on the side, and then this could be, let's say that's some more woven fabric. And by woven fabric, meaning hand woven. And then this could even be like, what I was talking about, where the fabric would be, everything would be over dyed. That might be too much with the woven fabric. I would have to see. And then I would turn around, let's see, and I could put like a little series of baby patches here. Again, that might be too much. Maybe it's that things have one element of that or not. So I'm going to put up here, pinafore ideas. Put the date. This is all right. I also had another idea for a pinafore, and actually it's more of a jumper. And I had a jumper just like this when I was in college. It was, so it was my favorite. It was this cotton fabric it was not like a super tight weave, but it wasn't like a gauze or anything loose. This was I think the buttons were right here. And it was dropped waist. So this hit me like right above the hips, and it was super long. I used to even tie a knot in it so I wouldn't trip over it. And I used to layer it over another dress that was of similar material, but this was an off-white, and the other dress was white, and it had. But I love that. I love it, and I think I could recreate it even out of just like some upcycled bed sheet that I have, type of thing. mean, I miss it. I wore that thing down. That fabric got so thin because I wore that thing all the freaking time. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So I would love to recreate that. It was the same on the front and the back. But I'm wondering, what if I married these two and looked at another way? All right, so I like this line right here. But what if this was a front panel that went all the way down? And then up here, like around this area. So here's my sleeve, right? You know, it's easy to. The thing I like about the brush pen, because I tend to like do these not confident lines. I do a much more confident line when I'm using a brush pen, because once you put your pen down, you have to commit. Here, you don't. You can pick it up and just sketch through and muddle through it. How am I getting so much ink all over the place here? All right, so let's say that this goes down to, maybe it's to a true waist. So it would almost be like I start to do a princess seam, but instead this front panel goes all the way down, and then gathers here. And this front panel, and what if it was like a slit here? That would be kind of cool. Because then with whatever dress or skirt that I put underneath it, or even like bloomers, and then this panel was hand woven. I mean, I could even do that on my samplet. It could even have chunky bits, right? Or it could even be pieces sewn together. Then this I would want probably for this to be thicker, like a thicker canvas or denim. But then this might be too much if I did that. No, maybe it won't be. I'll put question mark. Bad drape. But I like that shape. I like going back towards like a true waist. I like this slits on either side, because then this could also just be like sad Charlie Brown fringe, or you know, or just intentional fringe. Um, and I kind of like having it curve a little bit. Huh. I'm wondering if maybe it's, instead of, if it had like more like pleats or gathers. Or gathers. Question mark. I guess it would depend on what this is, because if I'm using like thicker wool yarns here, then I want this fabric to be heavier. Mhm. But if it's thinner, kind of like a cottony linen, I have some cotton linen. Actually, The warp that I have on my Structo that came with the Structo on the spools, the warp that I have that came on with the Structo on the spools is actually like this cotton. And if I do this as a loose weave, let's say loose weave. Let's say I do this as a loose weave, right? Then that would match with something that would be a linen accent pad fabric, right? Maybe even a heavy linen. Because I can get some heavy linen from Dharma Trading and then dye it. Maybe it's that I over dye the whole thing. Now that could be interesting. That could be real interesting. Or maybe I dye these pieces and then this is woven to match whatever this is in here. And that just becomes a panel. But then if it's too contrasty, I can always go back over it with something, with like an ice dye that would mimic eco dyeing. And I feel like eco dyeing would be a cool solution, but I'm on the fence about the color fastness of it, and I'm so used to just doing regular fiber reactive dyes and acid dyes. So yeah, that's worth playing with. All right, so yeah, there's some ideas. Uh, hey, Duncan. So yeah, there's some ideas there. I mean, so I definitely would like to do an outer layer, and I would like to incorporate some weaving in there. These are some ways to do it without like making a total woven garment. And not that there's anything wrong with a total, even this could be a total woven garment. Like here, I'm going to draw it over here. And I've seen people do this before, but what if it was, this would be the front panel, which would be woven. And then I could do some side panels that are either woven or not. I mean, what if this was upcycled denim, and then this was some fantastically woven bits. I mean, it would only have to be as wide as my chest, right? And my chest, I mean, I'm a big girl. So across, I could do it even 20 inches, 22 inches, and that would be plenty wide for me. I mean, because I'm around my chest, I'm like 46. So all I would have to do is, because whatever if it falls short, then the side piece would make up for it. I could even angle it up like that. See, right? And then I would have, maybe it's just a long sleeve shift dress that hangs out, or it could be pants, or it could be both with a login look. So yeah, so those are some ideas, all woven. And then this could be denim or heavy linen. And then this, we'll call this hand woven. Right? And then this would be patched. overnight. So yeah, could be any of that. All right. So there it is. There's, using my sketchbook. What I might do, since those lines are so fine on that jelly plate printing, and I feel like that jelly plate printing is kind of muted. So what I might do is I might end up going back over that in with my brush pen, just to get some more solid lines just on the outline part. And then maybe tomorrow I'll play with a little embellishing on that and see what's up. So there we have it. All right. There's the art journaling for today, day 22. I will see you guys tomorrow.